PHNX Suns VIP Lounge, brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast and leave us a 5-star review. Espo's dancing because the Suns defeat the Pelicans 112-97. The series is now 3-2. Gentlemen, you liking being in the VIP Lounge again?
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we heard this. Come on, drop it. Yeah, let's go. Woo! A win's a win.
Phoenix Suns have their mojo back.
Thank goodness. Espo, take us to the bar. What are we drinking tonight?
Let's go to the bar. We're drinking a Hoppy Home Court in honor of those Valley sickos out there at the Footprint Center, keeping it loud, keeping it proud, and keeping these Suns rolling tonight out there at the home court. I mean,
Did you forget
I
where they
almost
were?
said talking stick. Then I remember that's not where they play. It's the
Over
place you said
there.
a second ago.
Down the street on Jefferson.
Somewhere.
Right around there.
I mean, they did kind of change the name a couple times in the last few years, so it's
Yes.
fair. It's fair. This one started out this was an enjoyable game, and it started out enjoyable. And I think that was something you were talking about in pregame, Saul, is that we would be able to tell early on if this team felt like they were being bullied or if they were coming in with the right mindset and energy. And they proved that they did.
They absolutely did. You know, I mean, they from the jump you could tell it was the Suns that we know.
Yeah.
The Suns that play hard. They're not scared to get physical. They were aggressive. They were the aggressors tonight, and that's why they won the game. Like they put the Pelicans on their heels. The Pelicans kind of just coasted through the game, hoping to find like their moments, and they just never came.
Yeah, that was the first time.
Sorry.
Damn!
Sorry. Oh man.
When I
Is
say
that how all your sneezes sound?
Yes.
I'm glad you directed it
Yes.
this way too.
when I say I
Hey,
jumped out of my
I
chair,
turned to the wall. I tried to avoid you. I mean, I think I threw my shoulder out.
Saul, you can't do that when you have the jumpiest producer at PHNX. I'm terrified right now.
Sorry,
Anyways,
guys. My bad.
However-
Well, that's how the Suns came out. It came out with a fury. Like my sneezes.
that was the first time we've seen the Phoenix Suns in this series.
Oh my God.
Those were the Phoenix Suns that we know, that we've fallen in love with this year. I'm just gonna keep going.
I'm
okay?
sorry, Espo.
Lindsay's just over there losing her
I literally
shit.
cannot feel my right arm right now.
Okay, Brandon Ingram. Anyways, that was the first time we've seen the Phoenix Suns this season, or this series. I'm all flustered. The Phoenix Suns looked really good tonight is what I'm trying to say. And thank God, because we all needed that tonight to take a few steps back from the ledge, all right?
Thank you, Patrick. What? After all that, nobody said bless you. Patrick is the only one. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Can't even fucking talk.
I can't.
Oh, we got an F-bomb as well. We got an F-bomb.
We can't.
Let's
They said it couldn't be done. I did it.
I'm not saying bless you for whatever that was. That was unholy, all right?
Oh, my God.
Steven said you exercise demons.
Yes, I didn't
I
feel
think we're going to have to host this. Can we just get a 2-shot here? We'll handle the rest of
Oh,
this
my
one.
goodness.
Lindsay,
I'm sorry.
for those of you on audio, Lindsay is broken right now.
Yeah.
She is crying. She cannot breathe. It is spectacular.
Oh my God, that was really funny.
Saul, so
I'm
basketball.
sorry,
I don't think that was in the rundown. So I
I don't-
apologize.
Whew.
You're supposed to plan those things, all right?
All right.
It just caught me really off guard, and that was hilarious. All right, let's get back on track.
Okay.
Yes, this is the first time, Espo, in a long time that we've seen the Phoenix Suns, as we know and love, for a decent amount of time. Not just small, like little moments of it, little glimpses. Of course, there were moments in this game where we wanted more, but for the most part, four full quarters of Phoenix Suns basketball.
Yes, and they forced the issue all night long. Like you said, Saul, they were the aggressor on both ends of the court. The bench showed up tonight. They started hitting threes. We said when this team started hitting those open shots, it was going to be no contest. Tonight really wasn't
Yeah.
a game. They got it to the Pelicans got it to 7 in the fourth at one point. This was never a game, though. This always felt like the Suns were in control, and they held on to things. And we didn't see a complete third quarter collapse. They did get beat on the boards in the third, but it wasn't a collapse like we had seen in other games. This is the Suns team. If they show up on Thursday, on to the next one.
I don't think the Pelicans didn't lead at all in this game. Like, the Suns came out from the start and they grabbed those early quick points. Chris Paul, DA, I think DA had the first 6 points for the Suns tonight. And then Chris Paul added in a few more. And they refused to let the Pelicans grab the lead in this one at all.
And Chris Paul basically said, hey, my hand's okay.
Oh, my God.
I mean, listen, all I'm going to say is Chris Paul looked absolutely fine tonight. He looked like a 36-year-old. Is he 37 now?
Almost 37. I think it's tomorrow.
Okay.
It's sometime this week.
I mean, yeah, there were moments in time and throughout this whole series where you look at Chris Paul and it's like, he is gassed. Or, man, he just looks like, whew. But you have to remember his age, too. Like, there's only so much you can ask from somebody who has had the career that he's had to this point.
Yeah, I still don't. Listen, Devin Booker is vital to this team. I think we can maybe make it past the Jazz or the Mavs, whoever comes out of that series, should we get past the Pelicans. But Paul doesn't look like, not even last year's Paul. You know, I think there was glimpses. He gives you glimpses and flashes, but I think long gone are the days where he can string 3, 4, 5 straight consecutive games together where he can play the amount of minutes he played tonight. Like, he exerted some energy for a longer stretch of period in this game than we have all other games in the series. God, I cannot.
But you know what? I prefer him coming out early and taking charge the way he did tonight than waiting till the fourth.
I agree.
Because tonight it set the tone, and they didn't need him to be the guy to drop 19 in the fourth because it got them rolling early on. I want to see that again on Thursday. I want to see Chris Paul come out as the aggressor and not wait to be the closer. Come out there early and take care of things so you don't need him to be that guy at the end.
Well, the great thing about this is that Willie Green's made a lot of adjustments and adjustments that are obvious to us. Okay, there's some adjustments that Monty was making, subtle, small adjustments. Like sending the double team at Brandon Ingram a little later than he did tonight. Tonight it was like as soon as the ball went to Brandon, instant double team. They didn't fuck around at all tonight. There was a few maneuvers tonight. Monty had obvious, substitutions and he experimented with the lineups. We've been clamoring for a lot of different things, and I know we're going to get to that later on down the road. But I think that's going to give Willie Green more to think about when he's assessing what should we do to beat the Suns in Game 6, because now you're looking at a team that was clicking on all cylinders. There's not one specific person. I mean, 4 guys had over 18 points tonight. Like, that's a good thing. That's a really, really good thing. It's hard to scheme around diversity.
Mm-hmm. We got a couple of super chats. Shout out to Brandon. Said Mikal Bridges, OMG, 47 minutes. I agree. That's insane. We also have another one from Elon. Said Elon here. Supple Bridges saves the day. Go Suns. And then we have another one from Psycho Blue, but I don't see a comment on it. But thank you, Psycho Blue. Let me know if we missed your comment. Well, here's one that was right underneath. Nice to see the Suns again rather than whatever 2018 wannabe we saw over the weekend. The basketball gods were merciful on us tonight. Let us honor them with a solid win on Thursday.
Can we talk about Elon Musk in the chat? Only donating $1.99 when he spent $44 billion on Twitter. I mean, come on, Elon.
Come on, Elon. You
Help us
better
out
than that,
here.
man.
Help us out.
Come on.
We're going to get into Mikal Bridges a little bit more, but Saul, you brought up some of the adjustments. Do you want to talk about it now?
Sure. Yeah. So some of the adjustments that the Suns made tonight. First of all, I toyed around with it in game 1 or 2. I said it would be nice to see the Twin Tower lineup. We got that for a few minutes tonight in various different ways. It wasn't just Aiden and McGee. It was also Aiden and Biyombo for a second there. There was some nice little switching up there. And then we saw, obviously because of foul trouble, really quick with Payne, we saw Aaron Holiday, who was also solid.
Yeah.
And also, it makes me a little bit more irritated that he didn't get more run in the first couple games, especially the games that they were really really struggling. And I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say in Game 6, Aaron Holiday is going to play as much as Cam Payne because it'll be necessary. Not because of injury, though.
I could do without the Twin Tower lineup of Ayton and JaVale on the floor.
I liked it.
Spacing got really weird offensively. Defensively, on the boards it worked, but offensively, the spacing fell off. I did really like Biyombo at the 4 and either JaVale or Ayton at the 5. So I would like to see that again. But Aaron Holiday, you bring it up, he was kind of the guy that broke the seal on 3-pointers. They were still shooting very poorly. He came in and hit one there, and then it felt like all of a sudden that was kind of momentum for them from beyond the arc, and they finished the game 37% from beyond the arc. Obviously, one of the better 3-point shooting games of this series. They need to keep Aaron Holiday involved in this. I like his edge. I like his ability to hit those shots. I want to see more Aaron Holiday in Game 6.
So Aaron Holiday tonight played 6 minutes. He finished with 3 points. He had 2 assists and a rebound. It was an offensive rebound also. Cam Payne played 12 minutes. He had 3 rebounds, an assist, 2 steals, and 12 points.
That's insane that it felt like Cam Payne played so much. And in
he
reality,
only
it was only 12 minutes.
I know, it was crazy, but I think it was just because there was so much happening when Cam Payne was in there. And I not to jump over Aaron Holiday, because I agree with you guys. I would like to see a little bit more of Aaron Holiday. I think one of the biggest things that I noticed tonight was Alvarado just kind of like Aaron Holiday matches that energy. Yeah, and I think that's good. I think it could wear him down a little bit because Alvarado has all the energy in the world, it seems like right now. So throwing a guy like Aaron Holiday at him to just kind of match that is a positive.
It was really nice. You counteracted their counter, if you will, for Chris Paul. Listen, but you can tell that Chris doesn't feel 1,000% comfortable with Alvarado guarding him. He got another 8-second call tonight. So and he's got to be more aware of that. And the Suns need to be more aware of that. When Alvarado's in the game, every time you rebound, you better keep the ball up by your chin. And every time you're bringing the ball up, you better help out Chris Paul because Alvarado's going to try and get him full court. And Alvarado's faster than him. So it's easier for him to try and keep. So Chris Paul has to back him down, and that's going to take some time sometimes. And so I do like the fact that the Suns were able to handle Alvarado far better tonight than they did last game.
But that's why I liked when you had Cam Payne in there with Chris Paul in those situations, because Alvarado can't keep up with Cam Payne. He can't, so he's got to back off on him, and it makes him less effective defensively because Cam has that extra step. I like Chris Paul, Cam Payne in that backcourt because you got 2 guys that are going to bring up the ball, keeps them on edge. I like that. Even though Cam was in foul trouble, they still went to it in the 4th and even late in the 4th, trying to close things out. I expect we'll see some of that lineup as well in Game 6.
Now, let's go over to Cam Payne real quick. Because it was 12 minutes, but it felt like it was a lot longer than 12 minutes. And I think it was just because there was so much happening when Cam was on the floor, from his aggression, like he scored pretty well, but he also picked up a ton of fouls. And there were a couple times where he would just get a little bit reckless down near the basket. It just was... I'm glad to see that Cam Payne has found a little bit of his mojo again, though, because the Suns desperately needed that from him. He was barking at the other team, talking trash, and I'm here for it because we need Cam Payne to find whatever it is that was missing in the first 4 games.
Yeah, he had his swagger. Mikal had the swagger going on tonight. Jay at certain points had that swagger. Even DA. And I know we'll get into his play, but he had that swagger at times. When the Suns have that attitude, they're very tough to beat.
But nobody's attitude is more infectious than Cam Payne's.
Right. When
he's on, he not only gets his teammates hyped up, he gets the fans hyped up, and he does it so demonstratively, and it's very much like, okay, he's got our kind of back kind of dude, and that's who you want to roll with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Shane, check your phone.
I think it was his. I think he got those other guys going. That was a big deal, and I like that a lot. That Cam fueled those other guys as well. I mean, look, can I give some flowers to somebody that isn't really on the board tonight? But
Sure,
I wanted to.
Espo, I will never not give
but
flowers.
I don't want to step on your toes. You're the flower giver. I'm just Devin Booker tonight. Give that man some flowers. He was up in the huddle telling guys things that he was seeing. He walks out there's a contested call, and he walks out to half court and gets in the ref's faces. Looks like one of the members of the coaching staff. A bunch of people on Twitter and in the chat started calling him Coach Book because he was out there arguing like a coach. I love it. The man is still involved heavily with this team. I'm all about it. I love watching Devin Booker in any capacity, and I enjoyed seeing him tonight, even though some were saying he was dressed like an assistant principal tonight out there on the bench.
He was very much dressed like an assistant principal.
He kind of looked like, I liked his outfit, so I'm not throwing shade at his outfit by any means, but he kind of, at one point in time, he was walking with the guys, like he looked like an intern coach or an assistant coach kind of out there. Like he looks so young compared to the other guys to me sometimes, but he was so involved, and that's exactly what you need from.
I just can't wait for the first breakdown where somebody gets some crowd footage of Booker going at the refs, and it looks like maybe he's kind of fast walking or jogging, and people are like, oh, he's gonna be back for Game 6. Like, chill, people, chill.
Well, those are the same people that were convinced that Chris Paul had to have his finger cut off at some point.
Yeah.
There's already people saying that in the chat.
Saying what?
There's rumors that Book told the bench that he was coming back, and they're saying he's going to be back for Game 6. It's already started.
Well, okay, what it was is that, this came from I believe Kellen Olson on Arizona Sports. He had said that in New Orleans on Sunday, there were some Pelicans fans who were really close to the Suns bench who were trash talking Book. And then one of the other Pelicans fans close by turned around to them and they were like, yo, stop it. We don't need to get this guy going. Do you not know like his MO? And then Book turned around and was like, yeah, I'll be back soon. Basically. And that I'm guessing that's where this kind of stemmed from. Who defined soon, though? That's the thing. And that could just be Devin just trash talking back. It doesn't necessarily mean literally soon, like next game.
No, they don't. You win this game, so you don't have to force Devin Booker back in Game 6 if he's not ready. There's no point unless he's close to 100% to put him back out there in Game 6. I do not see it.
Oh, Sean Murphy saying Jordan Simone at Jordan Simone 38. Booker just off the court saying I'm back. Saw it with my own eyes.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I'm still not.
I'm still skeptical. I really am.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I have no reason to distrust Sean Murphy.
But I think he was saying somebody else on Twitter.
Simone is the one that said it. I'm looking at the tweet. So.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Regardless if Devin comes back in the next game or whatever games, I think is irrelevant at this point because this team has showed us tonight that they can beat this Pelicans team without Devin. So if he comes back because he's fully healthy, amazing.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
Fine.
If he comes back because he's pushing it, I don't think it's necessary yet.
No, I agree. I don't want Devin Booker to come back. I don't care how bad people want him to come back. And if he's 80%, he doesn't need to come back. If he's 90%, he doesn't need to come back. He needs to come back when he's 100% because that's the only way that the Suns are going to win a championship. And this goal wasn't to get past the first or second round. It was to win a championship. And you give yourself the best odds at that should you hold off. Even if you have to get to 2 games into the next round, okay, cool. But when Devin Booker comes back, you can win 4 in a row easily.
Yeah, look, when we were talking, when I spoke with the former member of the Suns training staff about the hamstring stuff, he said the 2 weeks after you come back from the injury are the most dangerous because it's very easy to re-injure yourself. Mm-hmm. So the more time you can give Devin Booker to rest, the better off I'm going to feel about him not re-injuring it. And you don't want him to come back in Game 6 and then cost you 5 games in the next round if you make it because you brought him back too early. It just if you need a game 7, then you have that conversation. You don't worry about it in game 6.
Right, I agree. All right, guys, should we get to the man of the hour?
We should.
Let's go ahead and name Mikal Bridges our DraftKings king of the game. Mikal finished tonight with a new playoff career high, 31 points. He also had a new playoff career high, 4 blocks. He also tied his playoff career highs for threes made with 4. And did I mention he played 47 minutes tonight?
Yeah. At that, he made everybody's heart swoon in the valley with how excited he got and how he was flexing to the crowd. The warden, as they call him, slammed the cell door shut on Brandon Ingram on that end one dunk. Everything and anything that Mikal Bridges could do tonight, he did. He was amazing defensively as well. Welcome to the conversation, Mikal Bridges, because this is the first offensive game that you've been massively impactful in this series. I loved everything he did tonight.
Agreed. He was a nuisance to Brandon Ingram all night long. And Brandon still got his shots. I mean, the good players, the good to / great players really do. And Brandon Ingram has shown that he's trending in that area of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's shot lights out in this series. If you closed your eyes, you wouldn't know if it was Kevin Durant or if it was Brandon Ingram in this series. That's for sure.
Especially because Kevin Ray kept calling him Slim Reaper.
Yeah, he's not the Slim Reaper, K-Ray. Sorry, buddy. That's the other guy on the East Coast. But Mikal slowed him down.
Absolutely.
Got in his way, made it more difficult, and that's what you got to do against good players. You got to just slow them down. You're not going to stop them all the time, but Mikal's hands were very active tonight. The whole team was very active tonight, and that's because Mikal Bridges sets the tone defensively.
So Brandon Ingram was 7 of 19 from the field tonight, 1 of 5 from deep, finished with 22 points. So he still got his, but that's not the most efficient scoring that we've seen from Brandon Ingram. I'm so glad that Mikal finally was able to have a night like this, because we always applaud him for his defensive efforts. But when Mikal can contribute as well on the offensive side of the ball, this team is just so much better. And that's no doubt, Lindsey, I get that. But Mikal specifically, for whatever reason, it just always seems 10 times better when he does it. Maybe it's because he's already putting out so much defensively.
Because he does the other things that the other starters don't. Okay, Devin Booker's not really a slasher. He's a great scorer, but he's not a slasher to the basket like Mikal does. You need a nice mix of those types of things. Back when the Bulls were running their triangle offense, one of their main guys that would like to slash to the basket was it was just right there. Damn it, Saul.
Scottie Pippen?
Not Scottie Pippen, the other one. He was Ron Harper. Ron Harper would not only spot up from 3, just like Mikal does, but he would be the one to slash to the basket to free up motion around the perimeter, and that's where DA and Book and CP3 love to live, is right there in that midsection. So you need guys like Mikal, and Cam comes in, he does the same exact thing for the most part. So it's nice that Mikal found his legs today. He was able to hit the 3, and he was just overall the best energy guy on the court outside of even Cam Payne.
Plus, his knee dislocated Brandon Ingram's pinky, so he got involved in everything that happened tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so, and it was really enjoyable to watch too, because I think Mikal is kind of like Cam Payne in the sense that you were saying Cam Payne's energy and his vibes are so contagious. I also think the same can be said for Mikal, because maybe it's more from a fan perspective. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But Mikal is just one of those people that every single game you get a great face out of, you get a great reaction out of, that really just gets you going. You know what I mean? It's just if Mikal is out there talking trash, then it's this game is fun.
I think it's more than just the fans too. You watch Mikal, and you saw it in the final 2 dunks tonight too. He turns to his bench and he does one of those screams or he flexes, and they're all going nuts for it. I think when he's going offensively, it really, really gets the rest of that team going as well.
Yeah, Sean Murphy in the chat just said, per ESPN stats, Mikal Bridges is the 7th player in NBA history to have 30 points, 4 made threes, 4 blocks in a playoff game. LeBron, KD, Kawhi, Kobe, Dirk, and Vince Carter were the other 6.
Wow. That's impressive.
That's good company.
That is really good company. That's the type of company that you typically see Book a part of.
Yeah, except for that Vince Carter part. That guy
Yeah,
never
well.
won anything in the playoffs. But
Oh, jeez.
But it is nice to see Mikal getting some accolades like that and being grouped in with some of those guys. I feel like this was defensively also one of his better games of the year, really, I would say. And then this series, I do like that Mikal, this is the first game we've seen Mikal focus in more on Brandon Ingram than CJ McCollum.
Yeah.
And I'm pleasantly surprised because there have been moments that we've seen Mikal on Brandon throughout this series where it was like, maybe that's not a great matchup for Mikal. But tonight he was like, no, I got this. Like, let me do this.
quick hands, was knocking that ball away from Brandon Ingram. He was up for the. He was totally up for the challenge tonight.
Sorry.
Could have just sneezed again and knocked that over
could have.
without having to move.
But I huffed and I puffed and I blew my back out.
Oh
Got
my
that to
God.
pause.
I was gonna
Okay,
say
Johnny Venerable.
mega pause. Holy hell!
Damn it.
Saul, Johnny had the spotlight for one day, and you just completely took it over.
Saul's like, I couldn't let him be on his own out there.
You know what? I took the chance because Lindsey dropped the F word today, so I think I'm okay.
Well, it was an accident. It was just because I couldn't breathe.
I know. It was classic.
All right, let's get us back on track with a DraftKings Sportsbook read. The NBA playoffs means next level basketball, meaning we
Everybody's
actually got
favorite.
it today.
It's ad time.
Yes, who doesn't love ads? We finally got next level basketball.
That was
today
literally
for
the
the
worst
first time.
transition I've ever.
Well, because I wasn't planning on going there, and then I was like, "No, you got to go there."
Lindsey saw the top 10 power rankings on the ad rates, and she was like, "Fuck that."
I'm coming.
Oh, I wasn't
I'm
even
coming
on
for
the
it.
list. It was terrible. I get it.
She was like, "I'm gonna show them."
This week, new customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets instantly. You win no matter what. Plus, place a same-game parlay each day with 3 or more legs and get up to $25 back if one leg does not hit. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code PHNX. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the first round of the playoffs and get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code PHNX at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Just a reminder, that's 21 and older only, Arizona only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only, minimum $5 minimum deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
So Sean in the chat says, "When are you guys live casting again? Our next live show won't be for a while.
No.
It'll have to be in the second round, right?"
Oh, are we talking from the Ainsworth?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay,
live
sorry.
casting, right?
I don't know.
We're going live tomorrow at 2 p.m. But yeah,
I
on
assume
location.
he meant on
yes.
location. Yeah. So, well, at least that's my interpretation, Sean. You can tell us otherwise. But it'll be in the second round should the Suns get there. That's when our next live show will be.
All road games in the second round if the Suns get there.
Yep.
There you go. All right, gentlemen. Do you want to talk about rebounding, officiating? Because those were 2 hot topics throughout this series. Any thoughts on those 2 from tonight?
I'm so tired of talking about those 2 topics. I feel
get
like
it.
tonight it was good enough. It was adequate.
Yeah, I mean tonight was probably the best rebounding we've seen from them. It was dead even at halftime. You know, the Pelicans got a little advantage on the boards in the third, but overall best rebounding we've seen from the Suns. The refs, they were better tonight. I mean, there wasn't anything overly egregious. There weren't any flagrant 1 fouls that were pretty damn obvious that were missed. So I take that as a win tonight against the officials. And there was no Scott Foster. So across the board, I'll say it was all right from the refs.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the refs weren't bad. They weren't atrocious. There was still a disparity, but the Suns have kind of played with a disparity all season for the most part. So it's like, it is what it is. I thought they called what they needed to call. I thought it was way fair. It was more balanced than it was the other night. Outside of Jay Crowder and Payne, everybody else was relatively okay. So I have no problems with that.
Which is, I mean, that's what you would hope for, right? Because there were some calls tonight that you were like, that sucks. That's annoying. Picking up multiple fouls pretty quickly for Payne, obviously. I wouldn't necessarily say that was on the ref side of things entirely. But then there are also some calls against the Pelicans, too, that you could be like, well, those were questionable just as much.
Yeah.
So at
Absolutely.
least the amount of questioning of the officiating was sort of more fair
For
tonight.
sure.
And that's all you can ask for,
Yeah.
right? Bad calls are going to happen in a game, but as long as it's kind of equally spread out, I'm all right with that. Like that's the best you can ask for, and tonight happened to be the way it was, so I'm good with that. I have no issue with that tonight.
Yeah, Adam, that is incorrect. They do
What
announce. I think they're talking about the next game. The next game is at 4:30
On Thursday.
on Thursday. It is 4:30 local here in Arizona on Thursday. So,
I think they were saying about the officials. They don't announce which officials.
oh, the
are-
crew. I got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
So,
I'd imagine Scott Foster's on that crew in Game 6. Just
I
a guess.
mean,
Also, the chat really hates Reggie Miller right now.
I know a lot of people have been very upset with him for a minute now.
He gets giddy about the underdog, and that's the problem. Is that he wants to see the upset. He wants to. Oh my gosh, Herb Jones is the greatest thing ever. Like that's just that. He's just a goober. That's it.
Yeah.
Just not very good as a color analyst.
Well,
so.
Matt in the chat said he called Mikal Miles tonight and didn't even correct himself, like he really doesn't know.
Well,
I think that's the one thing, like, I know it's easy to make that mistake, but I will say that's the one thing that does bother me the most.
that's on a producer, though. If they're not in his ear, if he does it multiple times saying, hey, you mean Mikal, I think that's on.
But he also should have rosters right in front of him.
I agree, but you're reacting, right? And he may not realize it. He may be thinking he's saying Mikal, and it may just be
Yeah.
a tick. That's a producer's job
That's
to
He,
say,
fair.
he knows who Mikal Bridges is.
Yeah.
He's watched this team 4 games in a row. It's not like he doesn't know
I
who
know, but
Mikal
it
Bridges
still
and he's been to
bothers
other
me.
games. Yeah. But I mean, people were acting like, oh, he doesn't even know our players. I'm like, no, that's let's just chill. That's not it.
It's not just Reggie, though. Like, a lot of people do that.
okay, but
all the
Mikal
time.
Miles screwing that up, I get that. I mean, same last name, very
Yeah.
close first name. That I get that. It's not knowing the roster. It's misspeaking.
Yeah.
Like.
I get it. We've done it here on the show. Shit,
It still
we love
drives
it.
me bonkers. It still drives
Lindsay,
me
you
bonkers.
need to get over it.
Fine, whatever. I want to do some screenshots.
Yes.
Yes, please.
It's time for some screenshots presented by Arizona Department of Health Services. COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov for a location near you. Saul, you want to start?
Yeah. This was kind of the turning point for me in the game. Mikal Bridges. Almost said Miles. See?
Oh my God!
You should have just screwed
Damn
one.
it.
You're the worst.
Mikal Bridges in that dunk. You can't really see it in this picture, but he's given 5 to the bench. He's hyped up, and I felt like that was kind of a turning point for this crew. Also, shout out to the chat tonight. First time we've ever hit 400 on a live
Wow,
show.
that's
Let's
amazing.
fucking go, baby.
I told the chat what you told me before the show, Lindsay, that if we didn't get the 400 tonight, you would lock me in the closet here, so I get to sleep in my bed.
Oh no.
She
Congratulations,
said
chat.
500, Shane.
Shit.
I'm really bummed that the one
La,
and
la,
only
la,
time
la,
I've
la,
dropped
la.
an F-bomb on this show happens to be the one
Oh,
show
yeah.
where there's so
Everybody's
many
gonna
more
see
people
this.
listening, and I feel even worse now.
That's all right. Swears for kids. It's all good.
Oops. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to.
That dunk was just unbelievable. He took the contact and still got that dunk, got the end one. That definitely was the moment you went, okay, this ain't getting away from this team tonight.
Yeah.
This is too good to get away from them. They've got that energy, so I love that.
For sure.
And to your point earlier in the show, Espo, right afterwards, turning towards his bench, hyping everybody up, getting the entire team excited and re-energized in that moment. That's probably my favorite thing about a big Mikal play is that he always turns to his bench.
Yeah, and when this team has confidence,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing that they can't do. That's what they had all regular season to get those 64 wins. If they get rolling, if they get right, watch out. And Mikal's a big part of that.
Yeah. Espo, what's your screenshot tonight?
Well, mine's not quite a moment that changed things. More of a question I have. How the hell does Valanciunas get his hair to stay like that all game? Like, I've got pretty thick longer hair like that, and I have to cement this shit down just so it looks okay by the time we get to showtime. This guy plays, 30 plus minutes of NBA basketball, and the hair doesn't move.
Is that goose grease?
Does he? We asked him.
Did you like
during
my
the
Russian
game,
accent or my
that
foreign
was
accent? My
That was
foreign accent.
that was the worst Lithuanian accent I've ever heard.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
But we asked during the show or during the game,
How was that bad?
does he reapply it during halftime? He has to. There's no way his hair stays like that without reapplying at the half.
What do you put in your hair?
It's basically cement. It's like a cement.
So you quaff it like that on purpose?
Oh yes. Yes.
Connor said the
Every
sweat
day.
helps, but I would
Sexy.
feel like
Why is Shay losing his mind back there?
I don't know.
Isn't that the right term? Quaff it?
I'm laughing at Kahana saying that his team spits on it.
Oh, gross. No, I genuinely want to know what he uses too, because I know there's glue. Obviously, like we've seen like punk kids back in the day with the spikes sticking straight up that are like 2 feet long, or at least a foot long. Maybe 2 feet is an exaggeration, but like a foot long or something of that sort. And I know that glue is super strong, but I want to know, is he using like legitimate like hair glue, or does he reapply at halftime? Because you would think with the sweat, it would also potentially counteract, even if it was too,
and
right?
you get that shit in your eyes, it burns.
Yeah,
like,
he probably reapplies it at halftime. My shit ain't nothing but ultra perm.
it's tough. To
Natural juices and betties.
I just want to know. Okay. My screenshot was the DeAndre in pass to Jay Crowder early in the first quarter. You guys remember which one I'm talking about, from around the top of the key, a little behind the back almost thing, or behind his defender's back a little bit.
And a bounce pass.
Shane, you need to show this motion. Do that again.
Shane's not on camera.
Show the the behind the back pass.
Does it look like I'm swimming?
You're like swimming.
Like I'm drowning?
Just flip it.
To Jay Crowder. But that was probably one of DeAndre's best passes, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It was so pretty. It was so clean.
Yeah, for sure.
He sold it, too, because he kind of did one of these like he was going to make a move, and then to get the defender off balance, and then he went behind with the bounce pass. It was very nice.
Yes. Those are our screenshots for the night. And one more time, COVID-19 vaccines are free for everyone 5 and older. Those 12 and older are also now eligible for a booster. Visit azhealth.gov for a location near you. We have another super chat, this time from Dennis. Said, props to Monty. Having this team ready, it seemed to be a game to have others being... Hold on.
To bring the ball up the floor.
There we go. My bad. I'm going to start over. Props to Monty. Having this team ready, it seemed to be a game to have others bring ball up the floor with Alvarado in the game.
Wait,
Monty
you read that wrong. Start all over?
Did I read it wrong again?
No, you're good.
Thank you for the super chat. I do. Props to Monty. Yes, because what are we laughing at?
Tracy Esposito. Wait, is Lindsey sporting team gear? Is this a first?
Yes,
Espo, your wife is putting Lindsey on.
This is the first time Tracy has ever come from me.
I think it was a compliment.
So many times.
Well,
and now I finally have caught some shrapnel.
You give your fair share of shrapnel.
I
too.
do.
No, like, listen.
But I thought Tracy and I had this thing. I thought we were
Espo and I were like weighed in pounds of shrapnel, we would be absolutely obliterated, and you would have like barely a scratch.
I mean,
is that why I'm so heavy? It's the shrapnel that I carry.
Well,
to
anyway.
be fair, she does say "love it, girl." She's saying
This
she's giving
is
me a
true.
compliment.
This is true. Yeah, I mean, I have a whole bunch. I
Code Espo, plead the fifth. Yes.
Okay, David Schultz. Jesus.
What?
Can we talk about Shamet?
No.
Yes, Saul, do it.
No.
Hey, listen.
Do it, Saul.
This is what I'll give you. Defensively, Landry Shamet played an outstanding game. Defensively. Offensively, just I am never quite gonna come around to him because I just feel like there's just a lot left. But defensively, he was fantastic. So if that's what you wanted to hear,
He had 2 steals.
there you go. He was fantastic defensively. I really liked what he did. He was tough. He did his best Mikal Bridges impersonation every time he had a D up on somebody. I thought he was physical enough. I thought he didn't back down to anybody. He was very good. He moved his feet very, very well, stayed in great position, didn't pick up, I don't think, any fouls. He was fantastic defensively tonight.
Let's be clear. Offensively, he looked like Shane when you sneezed. He was all out of sorts offensively.
I think it was Leah, and that wasn't Shane.
Shane-
no, it was me. I was
Shane
terrified.
jumped out of
It was
his seat
Shane.
I'm telling
Shane
you.
jumped.
like you saw a ghost.
My bad.
I am like a cat. A loud noise makes me freak out.
You put that on Leah, and it was definitely the guy in the bright yellow shirt I saw jump. So.
My bad.
But yeah, I do think Landry Shamet had a really good defensive game. I think that offensively, not the best, but not the worst.
Yeah,
I'll give him that.
Sure.
He showed up and he did what he had to do to help them get the win tonight.
Right. And also, I do think Landry in these last couple of games, I'll give him this, that he brings energy. What is happening right now?
The chat is off the chain.
The girthlings are doing great.
Man, who said, are we just going to ignore the fact that Dave from Chick-fil-A and Dave King are the same person? And I love Dave King. He's a good friend of ours. As soon as you said that, I was like,
Oh, I was
I don't know who
laughing
that
at
is.
Manuel's.
I know who Dave King is. I don't know who the other Dave is.
I was laughing at Manuel's Shamet's threes are flatter than Kyrie's perception of Earth. I thought that one was pretty
Okay,
damn
this
funny,
one's a
too.
good one. Ray with the super chat said McCoy called Alvarado Alfredo numerous times.
Hey, he's 89. Reggie Miller is like in his
Alfredo.
50s.
sometimes you need that sauce, baby.
I mean, that poor guy. Okay,
Alfredo.
I'll give Alvarado a little bit of love here right now. That poor guy. Alfredo, Avocado. What did TC call him at halftime?
Alvarez.
Like,
yeah.
nobody can get this poor guy's name right. Some of it's on purpose, obviously, but blessings.
I call him Steve the Pirate, or there's all sorts of things.
Oh my
Nobody
God.
gets that reference.
No.
but-
Listen, as much as Alvarado gets on my nerves right now, like he is on my nerves. He's a pest. If he was on our team, I think he would be cheering for him because he's got one of
yeah.
those storylines that like you can't help but root for a guy like that.
Oh, yeah. Again, he's like, we always talk about Chris Paul in this context. You hate Chris Paul until he's on your team, then you love him. And that's Jose Alvarado is a pest.
Yeah.
And you hate pests when they're playing against your team. You love them when they're playing for your team. We loved Raja Bell. He was a bit of a pest. He clotheslined Kobe Bryant. He made himself a legend. We love guys like that. But when they're playing against you and they push your guy in the back or, they shove your guy up against a scoreboard table, not so much. Not so much.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. Even Alvarado, that look and everything, I don't know. That's a guy that comes off extremely annoying. I'm sure Pelicans fans love him, but I find the guy drives me nuts.
But if he was on your team, you would like him, right?
No, he might drive me nuts still.
I call
cheer
BS.
for him,
I call BS.
But I think he'd drive me nuts still.
All right, so I have not gotten an update from Gerald Bourguet, but hopefully he will be joining us here
They locked him in the
shortly.
transformation center.
He texted me, I don't know
Oh.
why, 15 minutes ago that he's waiting on 2 more players.
Oh, I thought he was
Well,
still
there you
stuck
go.
in Houston, that he never got back.
Oh, yeah.
He spent like 16 hours traveling.
Yep,
yesterday.
he
So
sure did.
then, based on what he sent to Leah, is that he was waiting on DA and Mikal, but he just tweeted about DA and Mikal. So, meaning we should probably get some Gerald Bourguet here shortly.
Maybe.
One of the things he did tweet was he asked Mikal Bridges if he was tired after playing 47 minutes tonight,
Nah.
since his teammates are always talking about his limitless energy. And Mikal said, quote, "I'm amped. I'm ready to play tomorrow. I'm over here itching my knee just thinking about
He's
it."
that dude.
He's like,
He's
I
that
gotta
He's
go
a
get a lift
sicko.
in.
He's a legitimate
He's that
sicko.
dude. He's probably, he probably gets back to the ice bath, sits in it for a little bit, gets back out, and he's like, he's got so much energy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I'd love some of that energy.
Dude, right? Like, I just don't understand how. Like,
J-
I understand he's young and he's an athlete in tip-top shape, but still, 47 minutes. And not only just tonight, 47 minutes, he plays the most on this team all the time. And he never misses a game.
He hasn't missed a game since high school.
It
he played
blows
every
my
game in college.
mind. And he's the one who's exerting the most energy because he plays the hardest defense every night. So it's just like, I need to know your regimen. We talk about Chris Paul being a vegan and that giving him some energy. Like, what's Mikal eating?
Lindsey,
Mikal is
first of all-
25. That's what his regimen
First
is.
of all,
I didn't
we
have
all-
that energy at 25.
First of all, we also have to come back. Even if you knew what his regimen was, and even if you were doing it, Linz, we all know you would still be like, I'm still gonna sleep for 16
I'm
hours,
still
and
gonna take a nap.
then 8 hours. I'll try to figure out that workout thing, but I'm good.
I didn't say I wanted to do it. I just said I wanted to know what it was.
She'd like it as an option, but she's not actually going to
I would
do
like
it.
to have the option, but the same way I want to be invited, but I'm not going to show up.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel
That's
you. Yeah.
the Lindsey Smith
That is
to a T.
that
I
is-
want to be invited,
that-
but I ain't going.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. That is exactly what it is. I want to be invited, but I don't want to show
I'll
up.
show up
Okay.
like 10% of the time.
Ugh.
But it's not my fault. I'm just really tired.
Sure.
Maybe if I had Mikal Bridges' secret, I would be able to show
Sure.
up more.
I want to
Oh my gosh.
bring something. I have a clip that I want to show you guys.
Okay.
This isn't, don't worry, this isn't Buscemi, baby, or something weird. So apparently when Devin Booker was walking off the court, like we heard Jordan Simone say,
Whoa!
he's chirping at the New Orleans people saying, I'm back. Well, there's video of it. We
Oh,
actually have it.
snap.
Apparently you can't hear it. I was
What
told
the
you
fuck?
could hear
What?
it,
What?
but that he was.
Was that it?
Play one more time.
That is it, and you guys can talk over it. But this is what I'm.
Oh,
How the hell can you tell anything
Yeah.
from that?
Maybe somebody zoomed in and could.
somebody
lips?
claimed it was something. Apparently it was nothing. I'm
Oh.
sorry for wasting all of your time.
Awesome. I hope you audio listeners had a really good view of that because that
Hey,
sucked.
it just sounded like crowd noise.
Yeah, cool.
Gerald's here.
Yay!
Gerald's here.
Girth in America. I just made that up.
I was like, what is that?
I just made up his own theme song right there.
Look at you, Gerald. You're leveling up. You got your own theme song now, too.
Gerald,
That's
is book-
fantastic news, guys.
is book
Devin Booker
back-
back.
Is book back game 6? Where people on the
I
internet,
have-
just like the Chris Paul hand injury, are claiming that all signs point to that. So let's just cut to the chase.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently, there was some fan video of him saying, "I'm back" to the Pelicans bench, but
We just
couldn't-
showed
I
it.
couldn't-
It was nothing.
you?
You couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, you couldn't hear anything, and I couldn't see him mouthing anything based on what I saw. So I have no idea. We did see him getting up shots today and shoot around like actual jump shots. He wasn't running or doing much else, but Monty Williams did say it was a good sign that he was getting those shots up. So he is progressing. I don't know how quickly or if he'll be back in 2 days for Game 6, but I guess we'll see.
Why aren't you massaging his hamstrings before every game? Like, why is this not happening, Gerald?
I blame the Houston weather. It delayed me from my task heading into Game 5.
We
He's
just
like,
talked about
"It
that, so that's a good
It
comeback.
wasn't my fault at all. It wasn't my
I'm
fault.
surprised you're here today, to be honest with you. So
Gerald, what did Monty say about just the way the team played tonight?
Yeah, he obviously brought up the fact that shots kind of finally fell for the team for the first time in this series, really. They had been looking to blow it open, and it looked early on that they weren't going to be able to do it and still have those three-point struggles. But he liked the way that they attacked the paint, and that opened up their threes, and they finally fell in front of a very supportive home crowd that had a little bit more desperation than the first two games. And obviously he shouted out Mikal Bridges. He was the man of the night tonight on both ends of the floor. The matchup data against him, against Brandon Ingram, against CJ McCollum, against everyone that Mikal Bridges was guarding was just incredible. And then to go back on the other end, have a career playoff high 31 points, shoot as efficiently as he did, 4 blocks. He just was everywhere for them tonight, playing 47 minutes. Like, that was just absurd. So Monty Williams said, we can't clone him, but if we could, we would, because he's just a guy that never comes off the floor and is capable of playing the way he did on both ends.
So I saw this tweet from Kevin O'Connor that you retweeted, Gerald. You were talking about just Mikal Bridges and the numbers defending some of the Pelicans tonight. So when Mikal was defending CJ McCollum for 36 plays, he held him to 10 points on 3 of 11 shooting. On Brandon Ingram for 34 plays, he held him to 7 points on 2 of 5, plus
Jesus.
3 turnovers.
It's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Again.
Yeah. I mean, it's you know what's funny is the way that he brought it up was he said because we asked him, I asked him, are you tired? Like, because his teammates always talk about, he has all this energy after the game. And Mikal's thing in shoot around today and after the game was the key to the game was just playing hard. We just played harder. And I was like, okay, so if you play hard for 47 minutes, are you tired? And he goes, no, I'm amped. Like I'm ready to play tomorrow. I got like I'm itching my knee just thinking about it. And he said that he thought of it as, save yourself for the 5th quarter. That's what he kept telling yourself is acting like there's a 5th quarter. So there was no let up in his 3rd or 4th quarters. I still don't know how you have the energy to do that, even mentally telling yourself that over and over. But that's what got Mikal Bridges through 47 minutes tonight.
What did Monty say about the Twin Tower lineup?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously there were some ups and downs to it. It was deployed, I think, pretty well the first stint, especially. You look at the it was who was it first? Was it Bismack and DA or
No, I think
Bismack and
it was
JaVale?
JaVale and DA.
Yeah, and I think that worked when they trotted out the dual big lineups, and I think Monty did a much better job matching up with Jonas Valanciunas' minutes, DA's minutes, because when Valanciunas went to work on McGee, it was a little bit different. But I feel like they did a good job matching up those minutes better, and that was something Monty had said. We noticed those dual big lineups were kind of hurting us, so we might need to match that every now and then. Biyombo had that foul early on, and he had a couple of mishaps, but for the most part, he was pretty good. And it's something that you're not going to have out there for very long, but at least to match those big on big minutes, it went okay tonight.
Tell me, I know we talk about Cam all night, Payne, and how he responded tonight, but I don't want to talk about that, Gerald. I want to talk about my guy, Aaron Holiday, and how he finally got some run and he made a difference out there.
Yeah, no, and I think it was something that, Monty pointed to Chris Paul's high minute total tonight, and he pointed to Aaron Holiday as things that, maybe they wouldn't have happened if Payne hadn't gotten in that very quick foul trouble. But I thought Holiday did a really nice job. He was a guy that when you have that second ball handler, like they did with him, like they did with Landry Shamet, like they did with Payne alongside Chris Paul, that took Jose Alvarado off of Chris Paul a little bit more. And I think Holiday did a good job of being a pest to Alvarado on the defensive end as well, which is saying a lot because that's Alvarado's biggest thing. He had that nice lob to, I think it was Mikal Bridges for a pretty easy dunk. I thought he played really well for being a guy that has only gotten minutes in garbage time so far in this series.
Cool.
Anything else, guys? Gerald, anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think I'm ready for flight number 3 in however many days.
Listen, first of all, you asked for it.
Oh, I'm very happy for it. I'm very happy.
You need to find your 48th minute like Mikal is. Let's go. One more. Let's go. Also, we did make history here tonight, Gerald. Lindsey dropped her first F-bomb tonight.
And we went over
you did not.
And she did it in the first 3 minutes of the show.
Okay, but Gerald, let me just explain. Saul sneezed in the most ridiculous way I've ever heard, which I no shade to your sneezes. I also have ridiculous sneezes.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
But it caught us all off guard so much that it put me in one of those laughing fits where I was like crying and I couldn't breathe. And then Saul and Espo were like, we derailed this and Lindsey's taking us off the rails because I can't breathe. And so I said, it's not my fault. I can't effing breathe. And it just came out. It wasn't on purpose.
It was, Gerald, it was the most natural and pure thing I've ever heard in my life.
It was terrible.
It was beautiful.
All right, Lindsey dropped an F-bomb, Suns in 5.5. That's why.
Let's go.
We hit 400 live viewers tonight too on another note. So
that's true.
So Gerald, we did it without you is what I'm trying to say.
What a jerk.
That's fair. We've really cratered since that point. Look at the views. Let's do that.
Oh my gosh, it's been a show, Gerald. We'll tell you that. It's been a
Safe travels.
Show.
Eat some more beignets out there. Have fun. Stay away from the bad lady.
Bye,
Thank you, guys.
Gerald.
I'll do my best.
Don't forget to check out gophnx.com for all of Gerald's written content, He'll have something up either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. So make sure if you are not a member yet that you become a member soon so that you can read all of Gerald's sweet content. He puts a lot of thought and effort behind it. Gerald is a phenomenal writer. I can say that now that he's gone. I don't want his head to get too big. He's got to fit on a plane tomorrow. But for real, Gerald writes amazing things. If you haven't had a chance to read them, please do so.
Yep. If you ain't reading it, you're missing out. That's the truth.
Y'all ready for a producer surprise?
Y'all ready for this?
Okay, Shane, before you get into it, while you're thinking, let me tell everybody about our partner, OG's Brands. You guys can stop by your local dispensary and grab some amazing scratch-made THC gummies from our friends at OG's.
We had some today. Ooh, so good.
Were they good?
Yes.
What flavor did you have?
Orange creamsicle. That's the GOAT.
Is that the best one?
Yes.
Okay, well, there you have it. They've got amazing flavors from orange creamsicle, which is Saul's favorite, tropical watermelon, and they just announced their new mini OG's 3 milligram microdose options for those who might not be wanting to dive right in to the 10 milligram dosage. So
you can also leave them in your car where they all melt together,
and then it's like a surprise,
like somebody in our office did, and then it's like, guess what the dosage is, because you have no clue.
Let's play a little game, people. That's what it sounds like in our office when you have to take a gummy and you have to rip it out of the bag.
Oh my God.
It sounds like, let's play a little game.
Let's be clear. Nobody has to do that.
Yeah, nobody has to.
Shame.
But if
people
you're
a Bookman dose.
People want to. It's okay.
If you're interested in trying the amazingly delicious varieties of flavor that OG's has to offer, go to ogsbrands.com. That's OGEEZ brands.com to find OG's near you. Shane, take it away.
All right, I'm curious for this one. We have two parts to today's producer surprise. One involves a question, per usual, and the other involves a prop. So stay tuned for that.
Yikes!
I don't know how I feel about that.
I love it.
Espo, that's a threat.
We got Gallagher behind the Mac now. There.
The question is, has anything in your life ever been like you cannot explain, just unexplainable? Has anything ever happened to you? And if you do have one, tell that story.
Oh, yes, I got one. So when I was like in second grade, I came home from school. I went to my friend's house just to play, came back home, and I walk into the house and my dad's like, "What happened at your friend's house?" And I was like, "The fuck are you talking about?" I was like, "Nothing. Just came home after we were done playing." He was like, "No, something bad happened." And we go over to my friend's house and his dad had slipped off of a chair trying to get up over the cabinet and busted his head, and the ambulance was on his way. And all that stuff. And I was like, how the fuck did you know that?
But you didn't know it?
I know. Like nothing
there?
had happened. Nothing had, I just left.
Okay.
Like, and it took me like maybe 5 minutes to get home. I still to this day don't know how he did it.
So you didn't push the guy. That's not the hook of the story.
No.
Shane, can you say the question one more time?
Has anything unexplainable ever happened to you?
Anything unexplainable?
Yes, Saul sneezed earlier in the show.
Espo, do you have one?
No, I don't really have
Code,
unexplainable.
listen there. I guess they didn't have phones back then, Saul. One thing about me, son, is my dad is deaf. Do you feel better about yourself?
So they could have called.
For being an asshole in the chat, Code. Does that make you feel better?
You should.
My dad can't hear a fucking phone ring. Okay?
Ed, never mind. We're not.
Guess they didn't have phones back then, Saul. You jerk.
You can't see Lindsey right now, but she is dying off screen.
I think we're gonna get another F-bomb.
You had no way of knowing that, so obviously I'm kidding, but it's still
I don't
funny.
know. I'm like sweating right now because
Did you take an OGs? I'm kind of wondering right now.
Saul, I don't know how to respond to that because I know you're being funny, but also
It's true. It's true. The phone rings. My dad just sits there like this. I love him to death, but that's just what happens.
Oh my God, B said this went from 0 to 100 real up and quick.
I don't have anything interesting, and my dad can hear, so I got nothing right now.
I don't either.
Oh,
Shane, do you have a story?
Yeah, so I was camping in Big Bear one time, and we had one of those things you play, like an aux cord that uses Bluetooth, or it's like a radio
Oh my God.
thing. You know what I'm talking about? So like you connect to the Bluetooth thing, and it plays the transmission through the radio. Have you ever seen those? So I had one of those in my buddy's pickup truck, and we were playing music earlier, but somebody had disconnected their phone. Then it was just playing like white noise, and there's no frequencies out. Like there's no one within like a 20-mile radius of us. And all of a sudden, light jazz music comes through the speaker for like 3 seconds, and then a voice says something unrecognizable, and then it turned off. And we were like, "Can you just fucking hear that?" And everyone heard it, and we don't know what it was, and it's an alien, and that's
crazy.
How high were you guys at
For
this
real.
point?
I was completely sober.
Dennis Schluscher, listen, like when I say my dad asked me what happened, of course it was in sign language. That's how he talks to me. Like, I don't mean verbally talks. If you sign, that's still communicating. To me, I just say talks. That's what I do. That's
Or said. Yeah, I feel like it makes the most sense.
I have one. I just remembered this. So my aunt had passed away 6 years ago now, or almost 6 years ago, and this was about 3 years ago. I get a DM on Facebook from her account.
That's
acting
creepy.
as if it's her, and my initial instinct is, oh my God, what is my aunt communicating from the other side through Facebook Messenger? No, somebody had just hacked her account, but it was really fucking weird for about 5 minutes. So
That's messed up.
yeah, it was really.
That's really messed up.
But your initial instinct, because you're like,
well, yeah, why
this
wouldn't
was-
you think that?
This was a person that I talked to all the time, like at least a few times a week. And then, so instinctually you're like, oh my God, like you get this like sick, weird feeling before you realize what's going on. That was probably the closest to anything like this I've ever had.
Okay, so I do have one. It's not nearly as good as the two of yours, but one time I was at my house and I was just sitting in my room, my closet room with my cats, right? And all of a sudden there was like this loud, like bang explosion thing. I thought somebody literally ran into my house. It was that loud. It sounded like somebody's car ran into my house. And my cats freaked out and jumped and like ran out of the room. So I knew I wasn't imagining this. Then I go outside to figure out like what is going on. All my neighbors are outside and everyone heard the same thing too. And we could not figure it out because it sounded like it happened on our street. Nothing. There was no cars out there. There was no you couldn't tell there was a fire anywhere. And the whole rest of the night, one of my neighbors has like one of the police scanner radios. He was on it all night to see if something came across and nothing, not a single thing. But it was so loud. It literally sounded like it was insane. And we still to this day have no answers as to what it was. That's the only thing. Anyway, Shane, what's the second half of this?
All right, so this is a true surprise. Leah brought this back from Canada.
Oh, Canada!
What is this?
It's a Kinder surprise.
Yes!
How
Let's do it.
exciting!
What is a Kinder surprise? A toy?
Toy inside.
All right. Let's not get into that. We don't have any of those sponsors yet.
Oh my God.
Let me see.
For the audio people, I know this is just.
Oh, yeah.
This
So
looks
Leah-
like a bowling pin wrapped in foil. From
Leah's
Canada.
from Canada, and she went back home on a little vacation a couple weeks ago, and she brought us all kinds of treats from ketchup chips to all dressed chips to fuzzy peaches, which are my favorite. And now she
Also
brought us a
just sounds
Kinder egg
wrong.
surprise.
So this is a chocolate egg with some sort of toy on the inside, wrapped in what appears to be Mylar.
And basically, these things are super popular on the internet for kids doing like unboxings of these things. All my nieces and nephews are obsessed with this. So
Oh, well, Saul's doing it where you can't see it on the camera. So, there. All right. So
Oh.
a chocolate egg here. All right. Do it.
It's
you
like a
eat it?
twist.
Like what do you twist the the two halves? Gotcha. So
Ooh,
then we
what
got
is
an
this?
actual plastic egg in here thingy, and What do we got? We got candy. No, we got a doll. We got dolls. All right.
Dolls, let's go.
This is like the worst play-by-play ever of anything.
My Little Pony?
It's a an app. Did is this another Cajun word from like in the pregame? An
Is that how you say it, Leah?
It is a.
Everything comes in French and English, so you might just be reading the French sign.
That is a cape that you
says-
put on the backside, Saul.
It
That
says
is-
download the free app. It's probably like a play on words. App play. I mean it's DU.
So I'll show everybody to the camera.
It's a little blonde doll with a.
Put your hand
Wow, this
behind
is
it like
just
this.
this is just fantastic. Wow, look at
That's
this.
how the bloggers do it.
That only happens with autofocus,
with
Lindsay.
Does it have legs? What is going on with this thing? No, it does not. Like, oh, he hasn't put them in yet. All right.
What's her name? How do we know?
You
what
have
her
to
name
assemble
is?
this. Again, this is just great audio. Saul's assembling a doll for a child on here.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
Sly asked if my shoes are Adidas tonight. No, they're Nikes.
Why? What's the obsession with Lindsey and Adidas shoes?
I do not own a single pair of Adidas shoes except for the Y3s. That's it. It's the only pair of Adidas I own, I swear.
You could have just made up whatever the name of that shoe was. I'd have no clue. Is it an actual chocolate egg?
Yeah, eat it.
Okay.
Try it.
Well, but why is the inside white? It looks
It's
like
white
plastic.
chocolate.
White chocolate.
Oh,
Kinder Egg is so good.
I don't know. It just looks like
Let me have a little
plastic.
piece.
Ah.
Let's see. How do we like it? Is it good?
Feed your producer,
Oh, hi.
please.
Take the whole thing. Well, that's good. That's really good chocolate.
Anyway, that's what you all wanted to
Wow.
see tonight. There
Yep,
you go.
we got a little blonde doll. Congratulations.
Oh, can I
As
have
Corey C in the chat says, this is so awkward. And Dennis says, Espo's the only professional on this show. That is not true. I am nowhere near a professional.
it? Congrats, Espo.
Lindsay is probably the only thing
Not
close to a
tonight.
professional here.
Not tonight, that's for sure. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. Obviously, we were all feeling really good tonight after a Suns win. We were able to joke around, laugh, have some fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed some time spent with us tonight and enjoyed this game and are feeling a little bit better about where the Suns are at. I know I certainly am. This game definitely made me feel like night and day almost.
The game made me feel great. This show's got me questioning a lot of things.
Hey, listen,
I'll just say that.
Listen, Mikal Bridges played his ass off tonight, and I just want to say I feel like I made it happen tonight as well because I got her to finally say the F word. It only took 7 months. I deserve my fucking flowers, is all I'm saying.
Well,
Lindsay, I'm sorry we killed your broadcast career. You're stuck with us forever
So,
now.
for your flowers, you can keep the toy.
Good night, everybody.
okay, but for real, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. live with a hangout show. So come join us. We'll talk updates from Suns practice if there is one, which I probably am guessing they'll
Probably not.
practice
No.
late in New Orleans. So
Oh,
we might
yeah,
not have
no.
a lot of information, but we'll share what we can gather in the next handful of hours.
Maybe we'll have a Devin Booker update.
Maybe. Come hang out with us 2 p.m. Until then, you can follow me on Twitter at LindsaySmithAZ. You can follow Saul at Saul_Bookman. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. And of course, you can follow Espo at Espo. Espo, take us home.
Just remember, every time Saul sneezes, an angel has a fucking heart attack. Ahoy hoy.
PHNX though, Lindsey, Gerald, Espo. Saul pass the ball, we here to turn up the tempo. Got to understand me, I'll always rep the family. Rally in the valley like Dan G, no plan B. Always on the job, my team move like the mob, turn the beat.